Welcome to Your Rights, Your Voice. Family Law Clarity with Ellie Sweeney.
Hello and welcome to Your Rights, Your Voice, Family Law Clarity with Ellie Sweeney. Ellie is a California family law attorney representing clients across Los Angeles and Ventura counties. With a sharp legal mind and a strong sense of compassion, Ellie helps clients navigate divorce, custody, and other family law matters with clarity and confidence. My name is Kevin Rosenquist, and today we're going to kick off this podcast with an introduction to Ellie and a few essential insights about what to expect when stepping into family court for the first time. Ellie, it's so great to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to hear about your story. So let's start there. What drew you to practice family law, and what keeps you passionate about this work?
Well, when I originally decided to become a lawyer, one of the main reasons was really because I wanted to help people. When I first started practicing, I worked at a firm that handled a wide range of cases: civil litigation, bankruptcy, immigration, unlawful detainers, you name it. And among those, there were a few family law matters. And I quickly realized that I was very drawn to that area of practice, and it was just the right fit for me. It felt as the most intimate and personal way to actually truly talk to somebody and help them during a very difficult time of their lives. And I'm a natural empath, and I enjoy talking to people. And this has been such a great fit for me from day one, because that's what I want to do. I want to be able to help them and understand them and help guide them and empower them.
How would you describe your approach when you work with clients? Because as you pointed out, they're going through something that could be potentially the most difficult time of their life. What is your approach in helping to make sure they get what they need and also, keep their emotions in check, if you will?
It's very important to understand from the very beginning that every case is different and every person is different. So when I first meet with clients, I try to take time to understand what actually really matters to them the most, because it can really truly vary. So for some people, it could be perhaps staying in the family home. For others, it's securing good custody arrangement. For others, maybe financial support. So prioritizing what is most important to them is where I really make an effort to come up with a strategy with my client and understanding what it is that's really important. Of course, there's going to be other things we're going to work with along the way, but I do try to get to the bottom of their expectations. And also, it's important also to understand their expectations of how they're going to deal with the other party. I always tell them, you know your ex, I don't. How do you think he or she will respond to this? And
Yeah.
you think we'd be able to get a settlement, or do you think this is going to be a long haul? And getting that understanding from the very beginning is important, and it really helps us come up with a good strategy.
What types of family law cases do you typically handle? And are there certain types of matters that you focus on more than others, or that you consider more of a specialty?
Well, I handle all types of family law cases, although majority of my practice focuses on middle to high asset divorce matters. But in addition to complex property divisions such as that, or sometimes dealing with support, I also represent clients in custody disputes, domestic violence restraining orders,
Hmm.
and support, child or spousal support. So pretty much anything that family court would handle.
Okay. You know, this can be heavy, this type of work you do. You said you're naturally empathetic. How do you manage that for yourself? How do you manage the emotions of emotional people?
I I always try to put myself in the shoes of my client and understand what it is that they're feeling, because when I do, I feel they connect with me more and they trust me
Mhm.
more. But at the same time, I try to guide them along the way and help them get through it, because they need somebody to rely on during this process. They need somebody they know is going to hold their hand and get them through it. And I feel this is what I do best.
That's awesome. It's very much needed, and you definitely have to have the right personality, I would believe, to be able to manage that because of the fact, like we said, it is very heavy. I mean, and I imagine a lot of clients are probably pretty nervous before that first consultation. Maybe to try help kind of ease some people's minds. What should they expect when they meet with a family law attorney for the first time?
Well, that can vary from person to person. They should expect to get some type of roadmap of what is going to happen, how the case works, how the process works, what they can expect from courts, as far as during the case versus what's going to happen at the very end of the case. Um, it- it- People will have sometimes lack of understanding what they can go to court and get immediate orders for and what they can do later. So, for example, if you would need to file a motion and get a hearing if you want to get orders for child support, custody, and so forth. But when it comes to division of assets, that is usually something we do at the end of the case.
Can you walk us through how judges might typically approach cases involving children, like custody or visitation disputes?
Sure. In California, the courts prioritize ensuring both parents have meaningful time with their children after separation. So, the general expectation I tell my clients that they should have going into court is that custody will be shared equally, typically 50-50 arrangement, which could be on a variety of schedules, sometimes week on, week off. Sometimes it would be something we call a 2-2-3 schedule. But typically, that would be general approach unless there are compelling reasons to do otherwise. And those reasons sometimes can be logistical, such as parents living far apart, which can make school drop offs difficult.
Sure.
Sometimes it can be because of concerns of domestic violence or substance abuse. And those are certain things that can maybe justify a different timeshare. But it is important for clients to understand this baseline expectations so they can prepare realistically and advocate effectively for what's best for their children.
I'm curious, is there still a misconception out there that mom gets more time with the kids or has more custody, has primary custody? Is that something that people still feel when they come in your office, even here in 2025?
They do, they really do. And especially if a child is very young, I feel parents really feel that they should spend more time with mom. Well, moms usually feel that way. But California has really moved away from that, and they really try to give both parents equal time, unless the mom it's a baby and still nursing. But usually, even from a young age, such as 3, 4, 5, the courts can order equal custody, and both parents can handle it in a great way.
There's a lot of different stages to a divorce, or anytime you're heading into a courtroom, I guess, there's a lot of emotion throughout the entire process. But talking specifically about, when things go into a courtroom, how do you advise clients? What is your advice for them when they're trying to prepare emotionally as well as practically before they head into this sort of intimidating place of a courtroom?
It is intimidating, and for a lot of people, it's their first time and maybe last time they will ever be in court and in front of a judge, and it's difficult. But I try to tell my clients to be themselves, speak their truth, and they may get emotional in court. They may start to cry, and I always tell them that's okay. That happens. Family court actually always has tissues available, and I bring my own too. I always have them ready for my clients. But it is really important that they remain truthful and that they be respectful, that they listen carefully to what the judge is saying and respond truthfully when asked. And just listening and being composed can go a long way in court.
Yeah, easier said than done sometimes, I suppose, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we try our best.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Of course. Do clients typically want to stay informed and involved during the case, or are they more hands off, expecting you to handle things, and or is it a bit of a split? And is it important in your mind for clients to stay very involved?
It's very interesting because this can also vary from client to client. I've had some clients who are very busy with their lives, like doctors, who would just tell me, do what you need to do. I trust you. There are some clients who really want to know every single email, every letter that came through. But the bottom line is, we attorneys, we have a duty to keep our clients informed about what's happening in their case. If there's a subpoena issued, they should know that somebody is going
Right.
to be requesting to get their documents. If
Right.
there's a motion being filed, they need to, of course, inform them and let them know, because they need to know what the hearing date is going to be, that we're going to need to prepare a response and so forth. So, and not to mention, of course, any settlement negotiations. I cannot make a decision for my client. Ultimately, I can advise them what I believe would be a good road or a good approach. But at the end of the day, it is their decision if they want to accept any settlement proposal and so forth. So I keep them informed, and I believe it's important that they do know what's going on.
You're almost part therapist. I know you're probably not a licensed therapist, so I don't want to give the wrong impression here. But is being a family attorney, being a divorce attorney, is it sort of partially a therapist role?
It is. But I also, when I see that my client is going through a really difficult time emotionally, I do recommend to them that they go see therapists separately from talking to me. They're welcome to talk to me about various things that are going on and what their expectations may be. But at the end of the day, I'm not a professional, and I cannot help them necessarily with their emotional well-being. So I do always recommend that they see therapists, and they usually do. They usually do. I do believe that it's helpful. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that feels like that'd be very helpful to try to keep your emotions in check, or to even just to understand what you're feeling and why you're feeling it as you go.
yes, but even clients who do very difficult things for a living will tell me that this is the hardest time for them, for what they're
Yeah.
going through, and I understand that this is sometimes difficult because of the children. Sometimes it's difficult because of the fear of some existential fear. How are you going to pay for your bills going forward? Where are you going to live? But I do always tell them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Hang in there. You will get there, and it will be okay.
If anyone listening is facing a legal family issue in any of these areas that we've talked about, they may be feeling super overwhelmed, understandably so. What's the first step they should take to start getting clarity, to start getting support?
While talking to your friends is good and important, I do not recommend getting advice from a friend who went through divorce or getting online immediately, because you can get a lot of wrong information. I do believe it's always best to reach out to family law attorney and just schedule a consultation. Most of us don't charge for consultation, and it is okay for us to. You need to talk to a family law attorney and find out what your rights are. Find out what the steps would be to that you would need to take in order to achieve what you need to achieve, and just what it is that you would need to prepare if you want to start battling with the issue that you're facing.
Are there people who try to do this on their own? It seems like it'd be pretty heavy and pretty tough.
There are, yes, a lot of times they'll do. A lot of times they will file petition on their own. Sometimes motions. I've had many times clients come to me halfway through the case saying, "I don't understand why my judgment won't get accepted," um, because they try to do it on their own. Even when it's simple, it doesn't always work out. But
Sure.
I'll help them at any step of the way, however I can.
Well, that's good to know. So if someone's listening who's trying to navigate this on their own and is like, "Oh boy, I may have messed this one up," it's not too late to come and talk to somebody like you.
It's not, of course. You can, even if the judgment is final, you may still be able to fix it. So yes,
Okay.
don't think it's too late. I've had clients reach out to me even post the default judgment, and we were able to set them aside and get different orders. So
Okay.
don't give up. You can talk to an attorney, and they can help you.
I'm glad we touched on that. That's probably an important thing for people to understand who might be listening, that it isn't too late to get some help, even if you've tried to do it on your own. All right. Well, really appreciate your time, Ellie, and thank you for joining us for the first episode of Your Rights, Your Voice, Family Law Clarity with Ellie Sweeney. If you're navigating divorce, custody, any other family court matter in California, Ellie and her team are here to help you feel informed and empowered. Visit elliesweeneylaw.com to learn more or to schedule that free consultation she spoke about earlier. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, leave us a review. We greatly appreciate it. Ellie, it's been so great getting to know you. I'm looking forward to doing more of these episodes with you.
Same here. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.